Okay. I'm getting sick. Shalom, family. Shalom. Shalom, True Royal. Okay, she's on mute. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know, there's been hair stories coming out once again about Black children and the hairstyles they're wearing. And it seems like the more we go natural, the more they rail against it. And as you can see in the US, only 3 states at this particular time have hair bans. So nobody can use your hair as an excuse for anything anymore. And that's New Jersey, New York, and California. So that means 47 states are still practicing all kinds of hair discrimination. The only ones it's impacting is the Black community, especially our children, which should not be a target at all, because our children, really many of them don't have a say. A lot of times their parents are deciding what to do with their hair. So it's not entirely their fault, but there is a long history to this, ladies and gentlemen, a long history of all kinds of complaints about our hair. I even read where one of their faggots said, we were not human because our hair grew like lamb's wool. No, our hair grows like that because it is real hair, okay? Not that dog fur that you be beating on every day. It's real hair. Yes, I'm going to go over that, Queen of Spades, along with Army laws that they had in the Army that targeted Black women. So we're going to go over all of that so that you can see this has been going on for centuries, this bitching and complaining about Black hair. This is really, truly nothing new. Shalom to everybody entering the chat. So, you know, I guess True Royal must have stepped away, so she can join in anytime she comes back. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Okay, before I do that, let me just make sure these are, yeah. Okay, I'm ready now. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so before I get started, I just want to make sure everybody can see the screen. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Give me a 1 if you can see the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. True Royal, are you there? Okay. All right, let's go on. Let's just continue on. Now, the first thing I would like to do, ladies and gentlemen, is give a shout out to Seji Hito and Tareen Rain. They did hair stories this week. I believe Willie D did too. You know, I've been watching quite a few of these videos this week, and you know, whenever I see these things occur, it makes my blood boil. You know, they are punishing us for things that are beyond our control, and it doesn't even make any common sense. But then again, when have they ever made sense? Never. So this story came out, the ugliness of the cultural appropriation, where these male models were wearing these lace fronts of cornrows. And this was at a fashion show in Paris. And you can see the other models here. These are all male models right here, which looks absolutely ugly. looks ugly, y'all. But this is what they were doing. And this is almost funny, isn't it? It looked like an elf with braids. Yeah, it's not a good look. And it looked like they got the lace front too far down on their heads too, and they look like aliens, you know. It just looks weird. Wow. So this is how they sent these guys down the runway with these lace front cornrows on their head. And yes, it looks ridiculous, but you know, they got called out for cultural appropriation. And then people made these asinine comments talking about, well, Black people wear straight hair, they culture appropriate. That's a damn lie. And number two, no other group in this country had laws written against their hair other than Black people. And I also want you to keep in mind another thing, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing to consider is, see, when our kids get kicked out of school or people get pulled aside at work, it's the people that are wearing cornrows, locks, afros, you know, any type of natural hairstyle. They're not pulling aside or telling Black children that have their hair straightened that they can't wear their hair like that. So you know right off the bat, the more Europeanized your hair looks, the more acceptable that is to them. The more natural and ethnic your hair looks, the more they bitch and complain about it. It's very obvious. You name one Black child that got their hair straightened that was put out of school. None. Zero. And that says it all right there. That says it all.
Forgive me, Lisa.
That's okay. That's okay, Queen.
Hello?
All right. But
hello.
Yeah, you hear me?
Oh, okay. I had it up. I had to chat with my oldest daughter for just a second.
That's okay. No. Okay. Don't worry about it. We're just going over cultural appropriation.
Oh, just in time. Oxy boy. You a boy. I guarantee you that. Your grown ass is a boy.
So anyway, you know, this fashion show got called out because all of these models had on lace front. These are all male models.
Lord.
And this was in Paris.
What? Let me see the title of that. The front, the beginning of that. What the title say?
Right here. The ugliness of the cultural appropriation.
I agree. That shit is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can't. You know what? They can't do us. Now, no. You can have a light-skinned brother or sister with their hair braided or even have on kente cloth. We can do it. But when they do it, they kill the vibe. All the time.
So this is what they did. And Seji Hito actually did a video on this, and white people were trying to say, if this is cultural appropriation, then what about Black people that straighten their hair? You dumb motherfuckers. You are the cause of us straightening our hair. Because you wrote laws saying we had to cover our natural hair up. You wrote law. You got policies in place that kick our kids out of school if they're wearing their natural locks or cornrows or an afro. But you notice the Black children that got their hair straightened, they don't get kicked out of school because you know what? The more Europeanized you look, the more acceptable that is.
Yeah, and you know, it's all kind of deep-seated messages going on. They jealous. Because I know when I was looking at the video Taryn Ring did, he was showing this kid. He didn't show his face, but his hair was just braided so nice. And you know what? The other thing too is we were talking about this, that to show you how deep they go with tripping off of our hair. When we were in slavery, they would want us to cover up our hair. So when you see pictures of Black women, it's rare that you see a Black woman's hair. Because that white woman, she didn't want your head to be shown, no parts of your body, all of that. That didn't stop that motherfucker from coming in the slave quarters and raping us.
Right. And we're going to get into a lot of the history.
Okay.
On this too, right. So, this kind of kicked it off. And then, of course, I did hear about the teen that was, told about his locks. So I saw that story too. And yeah, this pisses me off. And I still say children should not be approached about this, especially if they're underage. In many cases, these parents are either getting their braids done or they're braiding the hair themselves. So that child don't always have a say in this.
And
be approached.
When Terren did his video about the kid that they were messing with about his head, the reason that they let him back in school because, unquote, exposure. He got exposed on the world stage. And see, they know what's going on with this hair stuff, because like in the state of California, they got the Crown Act, right. But they know what's going on, and this is very crucial. What I'm saying, they still gonna test the waters. They know a lot of stuff to be going on in our community, and if they see that they can get away with it, if it's a parent that's sorry and all that kind of stuff, oh yeah, they gonna test the waters and see if they, on whatever it is pertaining to us. But this shit, because our folks, please, and I'm not saying y'all directly, but some of our folks still not realizing how these people focus on us.
It's a deep, it is a deep obsession. And Dr. Frances Quest Welsing probably spoke about it the best out of everybody out here.
I agree. I totally agree. But that's how deep. Because the reason why I'm saying this, emphasizing this so heavily, we us bloggers, we do a lot of videos, and what irritates us is the video that when we find a story where some Black kid then got discriminated against in school and then got a nigga moment. They crying. Well, first they mamas and them crying, and they shocked. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, it's 2019. Oh, it's 2020. I mean, I heard people say that in the 80s. Oh, it's 1980 something.
These motherfuckers don't give a shit about no year.
Yeah, we need to stop being shocked. We need to stop being shocked.
Yeah, I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, and it just gets me. It just really gets to me that you shocked with these people's behavior.
But you know what? It also is a dead giveaway. If you are shocked, that means you are not teaching your kids about racism.
You sure isn't.
That's a dead giveaway right there.
Yeah, you get you a couple of extra dollars. You want to run to the suburbs, and your kids is going to an unquote good school and stuff like that, and they having hell. And see, what happens also is in those situations, in certain situations, your child probably is sometimes the only one or just a handful, and we exceed at everything that we do. And there's a jealousy there because they be like, damn, these kids exceed in the classroom and in sports, and there's a jealousy with that. And it depends on the teacher that they have, how they may treat them. Then let's say they in grade school, the little white girl's gonna gravitate towards our royal sons and stuff like that. It'd be a whole bunch of dynamics going on with us, and either we have to, which I'm happy to hear, and more of is happening, that we're homeschooling our children, or in the rare cases like LVZ. The school that his son goes to is black from top to bottom. The principal black, that all the teachers is black, which is rare and everything like that. But we got to be more mindful about this. These people will never change.
No.
And why do we got to continue to subjugate? We are subjugating our children at this point. It's too many damn kids dying. Now, 2018, it was too many of our royal babies killing themselves, and it was under the age of 10. And when I was under the age of 10, I didn't even know what suicide was. And these kids are pulling it off, you know, and it could be something related to hair. They messing with them about that.
Right.
You know, I heard a parent cry, Lisa, a father cry because his son had long hair and he went to one of these Christian schools. And they called him on the first day and said he got to go. They didn't give a damn he paid money. That man was damn near in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't no young man. This was an older man. He had a child up in age. And he, I don't know what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do. Take your child up out of that school. But you don't know what you're gonna do. Sick of this shit. You keep sending your child back in the pit. Just keep going back in the pit.
Yeah.
Make me wonder, are you having the child go to school because you want to brag that your child went to that school so you can?
Yeah, either that or you don't. You just want to get the kids out the way. You don't want to be bothered with them.
Yeah, for a few hours.
You don't care what happens. So just as long as they get away from you, so you got time to yourself.
Yeah, you got people like that. They can't wait to dump their kids off and get rid of them. Mm-hmm. I never felt like that about my 4 children. I couldn't wait to get to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are not around all good parents. Some parents are great, and they're very good with their kids, and some are just not. They're not fit to raise a dog.
We had fun. I remember you was telling us. Your son would be like, "Mommy, when you coming home?" He'd be like, "I'm on my way. I'm on my way." Mm-hmm. He couldn't wait till his mama got home.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're kicking it off. Now we're going to get into some history.
Okay.
Some of y'all know the history. You may know, you may not know. All right. So this article came out in Vice April 10th, 2018, when Black women were required by law to cover their hair. We are the only group of people, ladies and gentlemen, that exist in this country that had hair laws written exclusively for us. Mm-hmm. This has never occurred with anyone else. So when some white person comes and talk about your cultural appropriating, no, the hell we're not. To this very day, you are saying it's only acceptable if Black people got straight hair or their hair looks similar to Caucasians, we won't mess with you. But if you come in here with locks, you come with cornrows and afro or anything we deem inappropriate that looks natural, then we need to send you home. You do that to this very day. So technically, you're still carrying out the laws from the 1700s. Mm-hmm. They haven't gone anywhere. Mm-hmm. All right. So in the 1700s, the Tyndall laws, this was in Louisiana. This is why you see so many of the sisters, even to this day, with those head wraps on. That's actually historic. White women did not want to look at Black hair. They didn't want to look at Black hair, y'all. They did not want to look at Black hair. Mm-hmm. And it's not for the reason that you think. So let's get into this. Now, unfortunately, this was the 18th century. And, more and more African-American populations down in New Orleans were experiencing freedom, especially after the Civil War. So many of these people, and these things occurred during the time of chattel slavery. This is why when you see images of the Black women in the slave field, she got her head covered. She had to do that. whether she wanted to or not. She had to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So more and more Black women became free about how they did their hair. They were doing their hair up in jewels and all kinds of beautiful hairpins and putting flowers in their hair. And they were wearing hairstyles that white women could not wear. They couldn't duplicate those hairstyles. That
Mm-hmm.
being said, ladies and gentlemen, they got pissed and policies were put in place, laws were put in place that Black women must cover their hair. And it was out of nothing but jealousy. They were wearing all kinds of styles that white women just couldn't duplicate. That's what it really was about at the end of the day.
And you know what I wanted to add with that I was just thinking, you know, we still got it in our communities about unquote good hair and all that kind of crap. Because I always said good hair is healthy hair. Well, the coarser the hair, which we know, the more you can do with it. Because when you got really curly hair, you can't do a lot with it. That's what I love. That's what I love about our hair. That you know, because you know, in our in our families, we'll have all kind of different hair types too. And I just noticed that the females in my family, when their hair was the most coarse, they were able to have some all type of styles. Some styles I couldn't even wear, you know, and it was just just amazing. Our hair is a work of art.
It defies gravity,
don't it?
You know, nobody else's hair can do this, not without them putting any kind of chemical perming and anything like that in.
Yeah, and you remember, like we were talking about the locks behind the scenes, and you were saying you got, you know, certain people that don't take care of their locks, and I got family members like you that have locks for years, and they're well taken care of. They, I got one cousin, he even gets like a trim around, you know, and each separate one redone, you know, or tighten up, and they're well moisturized. And every time I look at his locks, they just glisten. Just really glisten. And they're beautiful. They're really beautiful.
Yeah, they're taken care of. Absolutely. Okay, so this was the 1700s. So during this time, women of African descent were known to wear their hair in elaborate styles. Yes, they were fly back then. Okay. But incorporating feathers and jewels, they said they were doing them hairstyles up beautiful. So it was so beautiful, they were attracting the white men. Ladies and gentlemen. Hair looked so fly, the white men were turning their heads and looking at the Black women. So now you know where, oh, them nigger bitches are going to have to cover their heads up.
Yeah. So yeah, we a work of art from head to toe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened. You know, we caught their attention. The women noticed. And of course, you know, all of a sudden laws were written to address the problem because white women were having a fit over this. In 1786, the Spanish colonial government, Don Juan,
this is deep.
He wrote an edict of good government, and that's the Tignon laws, which prohibited Creole women of color from displaying excessive attention to dress in the streets of New Orleans. Instead, they were forced to wear a tignon, a scarf or handkerchief over their hair to show that they belong to the slave class, whether they were enslaved or not. So if it was a Black woman and she was free and not a slave, she still had to cover her.
That's how that lets you know how vindictive to this day and evil to the core these Becky's is, and how they watch us, because she can't do nothing with that stringy hair that some of our folks damn near died to have it. It's not much she can do with it.
Right.
But she want us to cover ours up because she feels some kind of way. Because her man attracted to it.
That's what it was. So they were not only attracting the black men, they were attracting the white men. So she
Mhm.
got pissed, and these laws to cover a black woman covering her head went into effect 1786, y'all.
Damn, that's way back. Even they was tripping back then.
They were
Damn.
tripping even back then.
You
Okay.
know what that made me think of?
They were saying the black women were looking too elegant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they were looking too elegant, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, in response to the laws, Creole women did cover their hair, but they did so with trinket fabrics and jewels. So, even when they had to wear their head wrap, they even dressed that up, y'all. Okay, so they were putting jewels and all kinds of pins and just making the head wraps look beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, they were still attracting the men with their hair wraps on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. You know what it was? They thought the white women thought if the black women's hair was covered, she would look less attractive. That's what they were believing.
Like I said, we could be out there in them cotton fields picking cotton all day, smelling like a damn horse. She smelled like a field of flowers. He can't wait for her ass to go to sleep so he can crawl all over us. It didn't matter.
No, it sure didn't.
Mm-mm.
Once the United States took ownership of Louisiana, you know, the Louisiana Purchase, through the 1803 Louisiana Purchase, the Tignon laws were no longer in force. Still, some enslaved and free women of African descent continued to wear head wraps as a symbol of resistance to white colonialism. By the end of the 19th century, however, many black women began straightening their hair in order to blend into society that had established a Eurocentric ideal of beauty. That is why black women start straightening their hair, because a lot of times they would be turned away from work if they went with their natural hair. And that's what a lot of people don't know. And during those times, a lot of these women didn't have husbands. They had children, and they had to take care of themselves and their children. So instead of railing against it, they just got hot combs and they start straightening their hair.
Yeah, because actually, when I was reading years ago, when I read Madam C.J. Walker's book, another issue that we were dealing with was hair loss.
Yes.
Having to keep it covered up. Didn't have, back then, we didn't have, you know, to put oils and everything in our hair. So when this stuff shot off with Madam C.J. Walker, it's you know, the hair care business is $1 billion industry.
And we've been locked out of it.
And we've been locked out, and the enemy supporters, as I speak, y'all paying for it. Like I said, all of y'all are inclusive, the ones who stood on the sideline and watch what's you know, going down. And it's something I wanted to say, just slightly off topic. When I did the video yesterday about the issues in Puerto Rico, they were interviewing this one guy from Puerto Rico. I think he was a photographer or something, and the word that he used was diaspora. Now, have anybody ever heard a Mexican, a white person say diaspora on the regular? That was the first time. That is a sign right there that they asking for our help, because they getting these nigga moments. And the reason why you're getting these nigga moments is because y'all need to go look in your history and see what y'all have done to us. And what is going on now, every time y'all do something towards us, now karma is coming back like bam, like that.
Yeah, the most high is raining that judgment.
Yeah.
Sweat
That judgment, because we doing these stories and we reading article stuff that we don't even share with you. And I said, damn, well, wait a minute. This shit is catching up with them quick, fast, in a hurry. Okay. Now, China, y'all got some issues. With the $1 billion hair care industry that y'all locked us out of. You don't know nothing about our damn hair. What's up with that shit?
You know what the Chinese are doing beyond the the hair stores and everything? They are now opening up black barber shops and black.
Sure.
Yes. You got Chinese people, fully Chinese owned business, and they are cutting black hair.
And our men is washing their ass up in there, getting their hair cut.
There to get their hair cut by these Koreans and Chinese people.
That's like getting your damn nails done. Like the sisters getting this, it's no different. That shit is.
Well, this is what they're cropping up with now.
You can get that shit done in the hood.
Yes, they are, y'all. They're trying to take it over completely, even hair care, and you getting your hair shaped up or cut. They're taking up the whole thing.
Wow, Lord have mercy.
All right, y'all. Actually, I met Madam C.J. Walker's granddaughter online a couple of years ago. So by the end of the 19th century, however, many Black women began straightening their hair in order to blend into society that had established a Eurocentric ideal of beauty. This started with the use of hot combs, by a French hairdresser in 1872. But Madam C.J. Walker was probably classic. And as far as selling it, she sold it like no other.
Yeah, and she and to this day, her ideals have been stolen because she is the first Mary Kay.
And the first millionaire.
Yep. And
not Oprah.
Nope.
Not Oprah.
And I thank Madam C.J. Walker, because if it wasn't for her, my great grandmother lost both of her husbands. And Madam C.J. Walker had her to come stay with her, had her to go through her course, gave her a loan to put an attachment. She had a beauty salon attached to her house. And then and she had enough money left to have a little boarding house built in the back of the house. And if it wasn't for her, my great grandmother was able to put my uncle, pay partly for him to go to medical school. He became a doctor. My grandmother became some type of reading specialist. And I had another great uncle. I don't know what profession he was in, but he did well too. And you see how those tentacles reach. See, like with this reparation thing, what they are afraid of when they be talking about, oh, this ain't about getting a Cadillac. No, what y'all afraid of is some of us getting together, having our own farms, having our own grocery stores, and being fully 100% self-contained. Right. We don't need you. We don't want you.
They want to keep they want to keep sabotaging us, throwing roadblocks in the way, and then making it look like, oh, y'all need us. No, you got to sabotage the place and rig it all up in order for it to look that way. That's
they resent the facts. If we are self-employed, remember when you did that story a couple of years ago? That little boy, one summer, he had his brother and sisters working for him, and when he was cutting the grass, I guess he was over by an inch into their property, and they called the cops.
Yeah,
and stuff. And so they resent the fact that you get out there and be self-sufficient.
See, isn't that ridiculous? Look at the irony. In one instance, you are called lazy. In another instance, when you're trying to do for self, they're trying to sabotage that too. Let me get on the phone and call the cops.
Mhm.
You know, so what they really want us to do is what would you say we should be funky ashy and
Oh. Yeah, I know what it is. 50 Cent said all they wanna see us is to be fucked up and ashy.
ashy. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's exactly right. They
Yeah.
don't want to see us any other way.
Yeah. So
So so Madam CJ Walker, what I loved about her, what her granddaughter told me was whenever people went to her school, like women went to her school, one of the requirements was they had to give back to the community. So if somebody was struggling in the community, they were required to reach out to a struggling person and help them. And a lot of times those people ended up in her school as well. But
Mhm.
she was a heavy believer in giving back to the community and hiring her own. She had, all kinds of Black people out here working. I
Mhm.
believe well over 2,000 Black people were working for Madam C.J. Walker. If
Wow.
you can imagine that back then, that was
Yeah,
like
because
unheard of.
because back then, you working in these white people's houses, or you might have if a sister did have a business, she would be have a laundry care business, and she would be washing clothes all day at her house and then delivering them. So it was always something attached to the enemy. And this gave a lot of Black women freedom where they had their own salons. I've seen I know you've seen them too, black and white pictures where these sisters had big, elaborate salons and
Mhm.
stuff. And like I said, they stole that concept from Madam C.J. Walker, the Mary Kay concept. That came from her because they brought her.
Avon. Remember Avon used to go door to door too
Yeah. Yep.
back in
Yep.
the day?
That came from her. And then
Mhm.
in turn, you had to buy her products because we didn't have any hair care products. You know, I even found out that hair loss situation too, Lisa. Um, just as many or more white women suffered from hair loss too.
Oh, I
And
know. I run into a couple of them around here that they can clearly see they're bald.
mhm.
You
So
know,
that was going on, and back then what they would order sulfur to put in their hair to stop it. But once they got, we started discovering, let's say it's bad now for us because we know it, petroleum, it was actually a saving grace at that time. So there was some issues going on, um, you know, with our hair. We didn't know about the shea butter because that's what we was naturally using. So it was like it was like a new discovery. It that went through like wildfire all through the Americas, all down there in Haiti, all through the Caribbean. Those tentacles went a long way with this hair stuff with us. This, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's $1 trillion industry. When I think about on a global scale when it comes to our hair. So those her tentacles had reached much further than that, and it really helped a lot of, like I said, a lot of Black women not to have to work for the enemy. And we was still, even though unquote slavery was over, we were still suffering from a lot of the same things with the white man can't keeping his damn hands off of us because we up in their house cleaning up. So we were still dealing with that shit too.
yeah. Okay, so Madam C.J. Walker, she improved the hot comb. She did not invent it. Now I know a lot of times they'll write the history and say she invented it, but her granddaughter actually cleared that up. She says no, she did make improvements to it, but she did not invent it.
Mhm.
So of course she helped Black women during those times with straightening their hair,
Mhm.
and it was a good thing for those times because people did what they had to do to survive, and that was the acceptable thing that white people would accept if your hair was straightened, and that's the only way they wanted to see. And as you can see, even to this very day, that's the only way they want to see our hair. They don't want to see it any other way.
Mhm.
So now we had the Black Power and Black Pride movement of the 60s and 70s,
Mhm.
where we took the afro by storm.
Hold on.
Afros were everywhere in the community back then.
I had one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everywhere you looked, somebody had an afro.
I had a red afro, Lisa.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's the days.
I couldn't wear an afro, Queen. Back then I had that tailbone hair.
Okay.
It was too long to do anything like that with it.
Lisa, that afro I had on my head was huge.
Yeah. I saw some beautiful ones though. I mean, they were really, especially if people took good care of them, they were nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So Madam C.J. Walker in 1905, she had developed and was selling her own hair products. By 1918, she had a mansion in the same neighborhood as John D. Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm. That mansion is still up. I had checked a couple of
the mansion is beautiful and it's still there. Okay, so we are now centuries from that time. Slavery is abolished on paper, but we know it's still going on. Civil rights movement, Barack Obama, president. I don't know what the hell that's got to do with black hair, but and what good is it really doing us, wearing our hair straight? When you really think about it, you had Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Alton Sterling, and they all had their hair fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why that would be offensive, right?
These people, you know what? The thing that I get sick of, Lisa, is I'm real done with them deputizing themselves, feeling like they have the right to police us, and we got to have our hair and our attire in such a way to keep them comfortable. I'm just sick of hearing it. I'm fucking
sick and tired of looking at videos of black people in a restaurant or in a store and some random white person walks up and start grabbing all over their hair.
Yeah.
What the hell is up with that? It has never happened to me, and I have to tell you, it'll be a problem if it does.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to be nice at all.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, it is an assault, because if you did not allow it, that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to some more history here. When black hair is against the rules. So this is not just a problem in schools and in the workplace, in public places. This was also a problem in the military, ladies and gentlemen. So black hair has always been a problem in the United States Army. For a long time, they had restrictions. They had hair policy, grooming policies called AR 670-1, and they claim it applied to everybody. But guess who got targeted more than anyone else? Black women in the military. So they claim they made no distinctions for race or ethnicity, only gender, and that the regulations regarding hair are divided between women and men. But it's not hard to infer that certain sections pertain specifically to black women, since they referred to hairstyles like cornrows, braids, twists, and dreadlocks, severely limiting or banning them outright if they wore these styles in the military. Not surprised. I mean, look, if they're going to do it in the public sector, it's not outlandish to see that they would do this in the military. Now, this went on for for a few decades until the Congressional Black Caucus wrote a letter demanding that they reconsider this whole thing because it was biased and racist and offensive for them to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So the policy was then dropped, but like I said, we're always going to be the main target of every single hair situation in America. That's how it is.
So it's my theory again is when your hair is fried and dyed and laid to the side in every way that they like, they cool. But if you decide to go take a natural route with your hair, they got a problem with it. And I came to the conclusion that they're disturbed by it because that means that you are identifying back with yourself. Remember, I told you, Lisa, how I came to that conclusion based on a prom dress, because a lot of our royals are out here dressed like pimps and hoes when they go to these proms now. They don't say nothing. And this one girl made her own dress with kente cloth, and a couple of school teachers resented the fact and thought that was the most ridiculous thing, that she would wear a decent dress, not showing no skin, not ultra tight, like you about to hit the pole and all of that. And they want us, they continue to want us to it's like this. When we realized what kind of nut we was up on, Lisa, we started changing our diction in the way that we spoke. We changed our body language. We slouched down because this fragile motherfucker, it bothers them the way we speak, when we speak clear, when we look them in the eyes, when we straightforward and standing up. They want us to be in a inferior position. And my father taught me this. These things that the enemy is projecting on us, this is real crucial, because they, a lot of people out here work and they be fucking with you at work and they project things on you at work. They love to write you up and all this type of stuff. That is what they fear. Remember that. So they're using these fear tactics. You can write their ass up too. This can go both fucking ways. Keep in mind that you're going into a war zone. And then when they bickering and bitching about different things, it's a fear. And what we have to do with that fear, make them motherfuckers fear even more. It's not our duty and responsibilities to adjust ourselves to make them comfortable. And we're around a savage.
Yeah, no, we're not making anybody comfortable. Okay, y'all. So this is where it gets to me probably more than any part of the history, is when our children are affected. I can never get used to it. Never. It's heartbreaking when you see the stories and you see the child crying because they feel so humiliated that somebody would even insinuate that they look inappropriate. And if you notice, in every one of those cases where they're complaining about cornrows or some ethnic style the child has, the hair is always neat. You notice that? The natural hair on that child is always well kept, and it's very neat. But yet they get called out on it. Black hair restrictions in schools are a return to the Black Code. Yes, because we have yet to see any other child other than a Black child removed from school over their hair. It's consistently Black children only.
What did this fall into? If it ain't our hair, then we dealing with blackface. And as long as they are crawling around, slithering around on this planet, it's gonna always be that shit. Fuck them.
Yeah. So we're going back to the Black codes and laws written against Black hair. And, first of all, it says it all when 47 states can still enforce hair policies against our children. That says it all right there.
Uh-huh.
You know, and they don't want to change this. You know, if they really wanted to change this, they could. They don't want this to go away. They need to have some kind of leverage or something to bitch about when it comes to us.
Uh-huh.
They need to have something.
True. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know, apparently when our kids go to school, they're stepping back in Jim Crow when it comes down to their hair.
Yeah, stepping in that damn war zone. These people don't know how to leave us alone. They warmongers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? That's why that's like the more, troll father number 3. You need to go find your Becky and y'all go try to go produce something. Or you can use both of your hands.
No,
You know,
you
come to the wrong channel. We where is my fucking check?
Yeah, where is it? Reparations.
Yeah.
Reparations.
Mm-hmm. Go get that money.
Okay, so back then there was a case in Boston, 15-year-old twins, where we had a teacher gave them detention for wearing braids to school, and it was a charter school.
What?
They claimed that it violated their dress code. I mean, this is how ridiculous they go.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah. A 16-year-old girl with naturally curly hair was told by her Orlando school that her hairstyle was against the school dress code. So all they did was carry over slave codes, black codes, and those laws that banned us from having our hair a certain way or having it uncovered. And they just carried the shit over into the schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they did.
Mm-hmm.
A 7-year-old in Tulsa switched schools after her dreadlock were barred due to a policy. They claim it was a personal hygiene issue. I bet you her cleaner than some of those brats that were in the classroom with her.
Smelling fucking dog every damn day.
Yeah.
You know what? Another thing I just thought about. Usually, when you see some of our royals and they got their hair like that, and I've seen really young royals like that, they have a different type of attitude. And them teachers don't like that attitude. You know, they too proud for them, you know. It's a different type of attitude. That child cannot assimilate into their in their school system. So they stand out. So they trying to break them, fuck with them about their hair and all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a 16-year-old boy on Monroe, Louisiana was pulled out of school and not allowed to attend class for dyeing his hair blonde in honor of Odell Beckham Jr. of the New York Giants. Even when white students freely dye their hair, it's not a problem, right? But as soon as a black student puts some color in their hair, oh, well, they're now barred and they can't come to school.
Mm-hmm. It's always from one extreme to the next. So with the white kids, they can wear their hair any old which way, come to school stanking, because I remember a lot of white boys used to come to school stanking. They would wear the same clothes all school year. I remember maybe one or two outfits and stuff. They're just, going through a phase, expressing themselves and all of that. But when it comes to us, we're being defiant. We're not following the rules or anything, but the white folks, they're trying to find themselves and figure out things. And, it's just always some bullshit with them.
So about 20 students at the school were singled out for their hairstyles, and most of them was because it was too nappy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I want to put my foot up these teachers' asses.
Mm-hmm.
One teacher had the nerve to send a note home to a black mother instructing her not to use coconut oil on her daughter's hair because it stinks.
Coconut oil smell good. That's
I
what
would have went up to that school and cuss her out.
Me too.
You wouldn't have sent no letter like that home to me.
Yeah, so it's personal. So we have to remember, what is Becky's duty and responsibility when she is teaching in these schools?
Mm-hmm.
To break your child in
there to derail our kids and make sure they don't get a good education. That's really her only purpose.
Yeah, that's her purpose. Yep. So you gift wrapping them and sending them to the enemy.
She don't give a rat's ass about educating those kids. If she did, why are so many of them having sex with the kids every damn year?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They care less. All right. Some of them get physical with the children, y'all. They literally get physical with the children over their hair. In 2009, a white Milwaukee teacher cut off the braid of Lamia Cannon, 7, because the girl was playing with her hair.
I would have been in jail that day, and I wouldn't have cared.
She cut the child's hair off in front of the class because they always got a front and put on.
That's child abuse. You put your hand on my child, that's fucking child abuse. You cut a 7-year-old hair off their head, that's child abuse.
Yeah, and she did this in front of the whole class because Becky got to always put on a show.
Okay.
So she cut it off and then sent the girl back to her desk.
Wow.
This would never have happened to a white girl. You damn right it wouldn't happen to
her. That if a black woman would have did that to a 7-year-old white girl, do you know they would have had her in jail that day?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that bitch would have ended up in jail. She would have had to deal with my whole family because they would have been hunting her ass.
Mm-hmm.
You be thinking, oh, I got the mom locked up. No, you gonna have people that's gonna volunteer to whip your ass.
Right.
And off our kids.
Becky is 100% responsible for the school to prison pipeline. So, they will punish and suspend Black children over remedial things, just similar to they putting us in jail over all kinds of petty shit. Most of all, it is an effort to monitor their bodies, not unlike the Black codes established during Jim Crow to restrict the activities and labor of Black people and maintain white supremacy. Exactly. That's really all Jim Crow was about. Mm-hmm. Like the slave code before the Civil War, these laws which dictated what African Americans could do, what they could be, and where they could do it, were punished by arrest, beatings, and forced plantation labor. All the while, we were told we were ugly and our hair was undesirable.
Mm-mm-mm.
And what are they saying to us to this very day? They're saying that same message every time a child is pulled out of school over their hair. They're saying that same message to our children today. These codes, like the so-called dress codes in place at some schools today, serve the same purpose: to normalize whiteness and criminalize Blackness. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
When schools tell Black children the hair the Most High gave them is an issue of bad hygiene and grooming, which is bullshit, what they mean is they think Black people and their hair is less desirable. Some things never change. Institutional racism, not the hair, must change. And it won't change. This is why these folks are so inundated all across the system. That's how white supremacy works. They know it don't look right with all these damn white ass teachers across the country in Black schools.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now they feel, and I witnessed this with my own eyes. Now these schools is full of gays. When my husband's youngest son was in junior high, he was having some problems in school with his music teacher. So we went on up there. And so while we were in the office, I'll never forget this. It was two of our royal sons in the office. And there were two dykes in there, and they were white. And one was the principal, and they was trying to handle them. Then when we get to the classroom, the music teacher is a Black man, and his ass is gay. And I figured out what it was. My husband's son felt uncomfortable around that shit. We got to stop putting our kids through that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see what video I put up? They got a damn trans doll with a penis, blonde hair, blue eyes. They pushing an agenda.
Yeah.
Sick of these people.
Yeah.
What's up with them?
Yeah. Yeah. So you trying to be your natural self is a crime.
Yeah, no, it's a crime, but it's a fear within them. Because you got to remember, I keep saying certain things. We are vibrational. They feel energy come off of us. I still say that our Father put enough in him to see that kingdom in us and that everlasting life. And that shit bothers them. And more gonna bother you. You get no peace. You get no sleep. You keep bothering us, that's what you get. Look what's going on over there in Australia. When they say let the motherfucker burn, oh my goodness. Woo. When you did that video, I was like, damn, if they, you know what? And that wasn't the first plane accident, Lisa, that I meant to tell you.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was one where this white guy and his father were trying to help with the fires, and that plane crashed. It's a deep message going on.
Maybe no half-ass pilot, and all them smoke and flames are coming up.
Yeah, you trying to be John Wayne and all that type of stuff. And it's so much going on that right now that people are not really heavily paying attention to Australia, but it's giving us an insight into Esau's world.
Yes.
What it's becoming.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What's it been burning since October? They don't know when them fires going to be put out.
I read some articles today that said September.
Lord, that's a whole year.
Yeah, September. So
wow.
You know, but we know it's been going on for months, and they said it will be months more because they cannot put this thing out. And you see they got American firefighters over there, and you see they're not even putting a dent in it.
Lisa, the military.
Right. And
the military.
They're not putting a dent in this thing.
I was wondering when you were saying damn near all the way around it is damn near burning up. I wonder what the depth is. You know, how many miles do it go in there? You know, as it burned. And you remember when I had seen you that picture, Lisa, when my husband could see them demons in the fire. I did one of those videos and pulled that picture up. A lot of folks seen them demons in them fires. They was all over the place. Folks was counting them jokers out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and they said over 1 billion animals have died, and I can see how that happens. You know, they're in a fire, they probably become disoriented. You would think they would run from the fire, but many of them are not running from the fire. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's so sad. And you know what? I keep looking. I have not found a video, a news segment, or nothing with them talking about what the Aborigines are going through with these fires. Yeah. It's like they don't exist. They whining, they crying. And that prime minister, he begging people to shake his hand. he'll just force himself on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his ass wanted to go on vacation. He was on vacation. You know?
Yeah.
And he don't want to hear nothing about global warming. All of that is a what, like Trump used to keep saying, it's a hoax.
Well, first of all, that fire is man-made. That ain't no global warming. And I noticed a lot of the recent articles I looked at, they're talking about Australia and climate change. That didn't happen from no climate change. Some motherfuckers went down there and set them fires. That's what happened. That ain't no climate change.
They did catch a few in different regions that added to the fire. You know, they get their thrills like that, you know. All you left to do is go burn up shit because you can't produce shit. Y'all barren.
Oh, Queen, I got them so mad. Y'all get over there and listen to my podcast because the trolls are fuming. Ooh, they are so mad at me over my podcast that I put out today. I gave them a good old sting.
Ooh. I haven't listened to it.
It's been a long time before, since I had so many come and try to comment on my community tab. But I wiped them all out. That shit ain't there no more.
Them your future slaves. Wherever you go, they go. If they can't leave us alone, you might as well start getting on your knees, cleaning up. Get that little toothbrush out.
Yeah. No, She Brewed DNA. Whenever I post on Anchor, it automatically goes over to Spotify. So you should see it over there as well.
Yeah. Climate change is a hoax. Oh, I had some of our folks come over there back to that HAARP stuff again. And I said, please don't give these people power. Because now what I'm saying is, just think about it. Okay, if the enemy can so-called destroy the weather, why would they tear up their neighborhoods?
They wouldn't.
They would go straight for ours.
But see, they have they have zero control over those things. And see, when summer comes, we're going to get back to them heat waves again. And they already said the heat waves are going to be much longer lasting in just a few days. They said they are projecting that some of these heat waves may go on for 2 straight weeks, 3 straight weeks.
I remember I was still working at the time. And I remember it had got so hot in the Bay Area, Lisa, that the bugs, like the flies and stuff, they were dropping dead. It was just too damn hot for them. I said, too hot for the bugs.
Yeah, that happened in Australia. It got so hot, the damn bats fell out the tree and died.
Damn.
Yeah. And down in Florida's going through a situation right now. The iguanas are falling all over the place, frozen. It's so damn cold in Florida. The iguanas are frozen.
Yeah, I got that. Somebody emailed me that. I was like, damn.
Dropping off of people's roofs all over the place down there.
Yeah, and iguanas, they thrive in the heat.
But they're not dead. They just go dormant. It heats back up. They're going to go right back to being the way they were before. That's all. They just become more dormant. But they're not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aborigines, if you want to see how they would, just go look at some of the videos of how they were treated. They make their life a living hell, just like they make our lives a living hell here in America.
Mario Kart, we must be related because I have all them colors in my hair too.
And we, look, a lot of people are saying what's happening in Australia is judgment.
Yeah.
This is judgment.
My father do not want them over there. You can tell. You can tell. They have a drought going on too.
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah, they got a lot of dynamics working against them. you know. Ooh, I was looking at some of them people over there. They trashy. Ooh, trashy.
Yeah, well, a lot of them that lost their homes, they weren't living in no big elaborate homes. So they were
No,
barely,
a lot of them was literally living in trailer parks
yeah,
too.
they were trailers. Yeah,
You know,
a lot of them were living.
they representing they folks. They just sound funny when they talk to us, but they still one and the same. But you know one thing that, and we already know this, Lisa. You notice that these European countries don't want them. They
No,
didn't want they didn't want them damn South Africans, the
Oh,
ones
no.
that left over them.
I'm
They
not
don't
surprised
want them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not surprised nobody wanted them.
They didn't ask to come over to they didn't even act, they didn't reach out to Trump. Trump didn't act like they didn't exist.
He couldn't bring them over here. You know what a big problem that would have been? Because as soon as they got in a location, they're going to start that. You can't come here. And all that mess they do in South Africa. And they ain't going to fly. That ain't going to fly here.
They live in, some of them are living in shanty towns themselves. And those were the ones that, because everybody was guaranteeing work when apartheid was in place. And the ones that didn't want to do nothing, those were the ones. And now they want people to feel sorry for them. So like, say you have a business, say a small business, and let's say you got to hire 7 people. The four are black, 2 are Indian, and 1 is white. That's what they're doing over there. Even though we still suffering over there. And so I didn't listen to interviews over there in South Africa, and they are very angry with their ancestors. They think somebody that land that they took from us, they want somebody to pay for it. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. You went over there and took the land, and then on top of that, you want somebody to give you some money. That's
right.
them people's language.
And another problem is many of them don't even have a damn deed. They just took the land.
Took the land.
Yeah, they don't have no deed to even prove the land is theirs.
Yeah. They even I seen a video where they took some land. Some South Africans been living on it all their lives, and then they're gonna charge them to live where they've been all their lives. And then another thing is an argument that I heard was that we wasn't capable of growing our produce on these farms.
Shit, we were the ones that grew the shit over here during chattel slavery.
There was
we were the ones doing the sharecropping. They weren't baking out in the sun planting them crops. We were doing that shit. And now they got the Mexicans doing it. They're still not even doing it to this very day.
Yeah. They had there was a Pacific tribe of women that they wanted over in Africa to come and tend to them crops over here in the Americas.
Right. And they were doing that for a long time. These slaves that came over here, the ones that did come, these were not random acts. They asked for certain slaves. You know, just like you saw them working slaves in the sugarcane field, those slaves weren't slaves in Africa, but they were working the sugarcane fields over there in Africa. So they snatched those same exact people to do the sugarcane fields over here in the Western Hemisphere. So these were not random acts when they snatch people. You know? But no, we done did all that backbreaking work out in those fields. So how the hell do we come to the point where we don't know how to grow shit? Get out of here. That's just fantasy talk.
Yeah, that's like when we were talking.
A bunch of fantasy.
We were talking about the Buffalo Soldiers. Once the Civil War was over with, and they had to start rebuilding portions of the South. The Indians was tearing their ass up, and they had to go tuck their tails and go get some black men, because that's what the Indians named the black men, the Buffalo Soldiers. And then you was telling me because all you have to do is use logic when you think about the region that Spanish American War. Them white boys couldn't stand in that sun over there.
That was
out of them places over there.
That was fought by black men exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
And they won that war in just a few days. See how when our men bear arms and were left on their own to fight a war, they won it in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. They won it in a few days. And white folks did not rebuild the South after the Civil War. The black men that were part of the convict lease program, that's what rebuilt the South.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't rebuild the South. Those Confederate soldiers that fought in the war, their asses were junkies and alcoholics.
Yeah, I remember you did a video about they opioid addiction even back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and many of them were alcoholics. After that war, they couldn't rebuild nothing. So this is why we're telling y'all, if a war breaks out and if there's a draft, we don't go. We done did enough. We done did above and beyond for this nation. And it has gone unappreciated all this time. No, let these people, they start all the wars. Let them get out there and fight it themselves.
Yeah, like you were saying, when it comes to the black soldiers, then they want to honor them when they damn near dead.
Mm-hmm.
And you were right when you said that, because I have seen them where they was old. It's like some of them, did they even know what was going on? How they did them. You want them to fight this war. And then they hung, like you said, they hung a lot of them in their uniforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, they always resented the fact that blacks were in the military. They didn't even want us in the military initially. They fought to keep us out of the military. And then when we were in the military, they had a black regiment and a white regiment. They didn't even want to fight with us side by side until it got dangerous. Now they did in World War II, because after a while they needed the black soldiers out there.
Man,
they needed the black soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need the black soldiers in the military to this very day.
Yeah, it was telling the Italian women that the black soldiers had tails and stuff. I said, boy, I heard that story years ago that they had tails. And these white folks are still being born with tails.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like my dad said, anything they tell you, the opposite is true. Always believe the opposite. That's what's true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we didn't fought in all these wars.
And we have absolutely nothing to show for it, y'all.
Yeah, Boulder Rockers, I heard that from my uncle. He said them white boys down south was talking shit on their way to Vietnam. And he said, as soon as you get there, the first thing you smell is death in the air and gunpowder. He said some of them literally used the bathroom on themselves. They were so scared. Talked all that shit on their way there. That's how they get down.
Well, that's what those millennials did. They went to the U.S. Selective Service website and crashed it.
Lisa ain't gonna never let them live that down. Rub it in. Oh my goodness. Richard Spencer, he hates Trump. I should have never voted for him.
He's what in a war. I said, oh, that's what it is, Richard Spencer. You're scared. You're gonna have to go fight in a war. But I thought y'all were so tough and bad out in them streets.
Yeah, remember that gay white dude had recorded what he had said, and he wanted them hotheads to be doing all that cussing and all that shit. Ain't nothing behind it. Hey Lisa, I emailed you I emailed you about my grandmother, my great grandmother, Arizona Women of Heritage. It didn't mention, because I forgot what it said. It didn't mention Madam C.J. Walker, but they did talk about her having her own beauty parlor at her home, and the things that she did in the community, you know, having that salon. That, because like I said, she was married twice and both of her husbands died, and she had 3 little children. And if it wasn't for Madam C.J. Walker in that school, I don't know what would have happened to my family. That's amazing how those tentacles can run that long, you know, and everything. So they got her as one of the trailblazers in Phoenix, Arizona. That's nice. That's really nice. I like when I see stuff like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're probably going to heavily recruit at the schools now, you know.
Oh, yes.
The high schools and at the colleges trying to recruit. Because recruitment is down in the country. It's been down for years.
I talked to my sons about it. They ain't even thinking about this country. You know, I like to talk to young folks, see what they're paying attention to, and they know what's going on. So they're not fighting in this white man's war.
Yeah.
These kids are sharper than
400 years of racism. We fought in every war, and the racism still goes on today. So what would inspire us to want to fight?
Yeah, nah, they ain't feeling it.
Zero.
Yeah, like remember, like I said, what did they say about our royals? They say they mean. No, they're not putting up with that shit. They're not putting up with it.
Yeah, they're gonna heavily promote it. They have no other choice.
Oh, you're gonna be all you can be. And like I said, they coming to pander to us. The Republican Party, they little kickoff is with Diamond and Silk, you know. And I listening to Trump over there talking about when he made his speech about all these jobs that African Americans then got, and he done got all these people off of food stamps and stuff like that, trying to hint like it's us. No, them white people gonna be pissed off with him cutting their shit.
Yeah,
you know, he cutting their shit. You know, they gotta have their little pills, their little EBT cards. Leave them alone.
That is the truth. But no, it's not. It's not our war. In fact, all throughout history, none of these wars are our war.
None of our damn business.
We don't have to be part of nothing. We done tried everything that you could possibly try in this system. We tried to assimilate, tried to change the way we look, we tried to change the way we talk. We've done everything possible. So now the fucking hell with it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna come running to us talking about let's put our differences to the side. No. This your country, land of the free, home of the brave. So go be brave. Go be about that life.
No, we ain't putting shit aside.
And then after it's over with, it's the same old shit. You know? No, y'all
you got plenty of people to send. Get them, scrape up them opioid addicts all over the place and throw them over there.
Yeah, put their ass on the front line.
Them trigger happy ass cops you got, since they love shooting that stuff. Send them motherfuckers over there.
Yeah, they like to attack old women and children.
There'll be plenty of them over there for them to attack.
They can't handle them people. That terrain.
Round up your mass shooters. Send them over there.
Yeah, cowards. Did you see some of them dudes they arrested in Virginia?
Yeah.
And them dudes look so sorry. Oh, them dudes look weak. Oh, they look weak. I said, look at them. You could tell none of them got a girlfriend. Not a one.
Yeah.
You know.
What they call them now, y'all, incels.
Yeah.
they can't get no woman. Man, no. I tell you what, I did not think I was going to live to see the day where white women were pissed off because no man will date them. and the white men are sitting around and nobody will go out with them either.
Yeah, they both are just they wore out. They wore out. They like you that video you did. I think it was up in Oregon. And they said they stopped having sex with each other. They can't make no babies. It's like, I'm tired. I can't do it. We ain't producing nothing. We're not producing nothing. To hell with it. You know? And I was looking at them dudes. Remember that dude they arrested in McDonald's? He was gonna go on a mass shooting spree. He was upset because he couldn't get a woman.
Yeah, I remember that.
So how's that gonna fulfill your needs? You shooting up something.
I don't know, but that's the kind of dude you need to recruit. They got all that pent up anger. Send them over there.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch of people to send.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah. Yeah, send them over there quick. Send Richard Spencer over. I would love to see Richard Spencer in a war.
Send these pedophile teachers y'all got up in here. They need to be shot at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let us handpick who go over there. Boy, we can empty this country out. Can't we, Lisa? Boy.
Yeah, it won't be any of us.
And the Becky's got to go, too. They got to go over there and help them. You know, she want to be on the front line.
Right. We can get rid of Me Too, Me 3, Me 4. Yeah, all of them bitches.
Have anybody been watching the impeachment hearings?
Yeah,
they upset with Mitch McConnell, some of his folks, because Mitch McConnell want this shit. If he could, Mitch McConnell would have it running 7 days a week, around the clock, 24 hours a day. And he thinking, oh, I'm gonna have it past midnight. Nobody ain't gonna see this portion of it. And then I got to thinking, I said, Mitch McConnell, you thinking back in the day when at midnight the TV would go off and nothing would be on and we didn't have no cable then? Because I can remember that well and stuff. So I was up watching the impeachment hearings the first day of it, and past midnight on Facebook, it was popping. On YouTube, it was popping. I went to a bunch of different channels. There was thousands of people up watching that shit. I don't know what you think got going. And then it was talking about
right, y'all. You send Candace Owens too. So if you're gonna send Tommy Lauren over there to fight, y'all can take Candace Owens. We don't even consider her.
Denard, all of them.
Her black card has been revoked. Y'all can take her.
Yeah. Okay, you right about that. Me and my husband was talking about that. Yeah, they would play the national anthem and then you would see snow. That's right. That was it. So guess what they feed them senior citizens at these very long hearings? Pizza.
Wow.
Pizza of all things. Yeah, Amber Phillips too. Came the first one I was sling over there. And so you can't you gotta sit still, you can't do this, you can't do that. Them people getting up, walking around and doing what they do and everything.
We need to send Roland Martin's sister too. That woman that looks like him that was fighting with.
Oh yeah, Miss Thing all swollen up. You know, she one of them people talk all that big shit, ain't about to lift a finger. Ain't that some corny shit? You can only drink milk and water. Milk and water. That these are Mitch McConnell's rules. So the first day, 15 of the Republicans, they wanted to talk to him about all these damn rigid ass rules. You know?
Yeah.
They want to talk to his ass. It was like, what you on? You know, what you really on?
Wow.
So, and the lies that they tell, just ridiculous. You know, you got court, you have in court, you and no witnesses, no evidence, and then Trump, see, that's what's really gonna get Trump in a lot of trouble. He too braggadocious. He was over there bragging about, oh, everything went fine, and but we got all the evidence anyway. Trump, shut up. They said, and then how many tweets did he put out in one day? They said he had broke a record. He had put out did he put out over 100 tweets or something like that? I think that's what he did. Let me see. Oh, send Okra. Oh yeah, Okra gotta go. and
Don't forget her sidekick Gail.
Gail looking kind of rough. Yeah, David Clark. Well, that's a bunch of them we could send over there.
Oh yeah, David Clark definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Go with them fake medals on.
Let him run the shit, you know.
Yeah, with them old fakeified medals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, all of the people that voted for Trump, you know.
Oh yeah, Stacey Dash ass.
Uh-huh. She broke. She might as well go over there.
Stacey
man,
couldn't get no lawyer. She had to tuck her tail and go back to her husband's house.
mm-hmm.
She probably doing everything he say to do too. He got her wrapped around his finger. You mean you was in that in Hollywood and you didn't secure your coins, girl? You didn't secure your coins. And his kids don't like her. She probably every kind of bitch girl. They don't like her.
Sure don't.
When I seen that shit on the news, I fell out. I said, "Boy, you talking about nigga moment? You've been putting black folks down for years. Then you go hook up with this white man, and he not wealthy like that. That guy got to get up and go to work too, and get in a fight with him, and he got to go down there and bail your sorry ass up out of there. You know, you better go back to your cousin Damon Dash and make some of them B ghetto movies. You know, he had put her in a movie, and then she act like she wanted to sue him because her name was on the marquee, and I'm like, well, you are in the movie,
right?
Ain't nobody checking for Stacey Dash.
Oh yeah, George Zimmerman. Yeah, George Zimmerman. They need to attach him to a bomb. Just drop him over Iran.
No, I want him to die real slow. I don't know no fast shit with George Zimmerman. Nope. No quick shit with him. That's got to be some slow shit to the point where he be begging to be taken out.
Ain't that the truth?
Nah, but we be doing him a favor, taking him out real quick. No way.
Yeah, he keeps getting kicked off of the dating sites. So I guess George Zimmerman is now an incel. He can't get a date. No, I mean, come on. Who's going to date a man who killed a child?
Yeah, nobody don't want to be around.
Nobody want to be bothered with that, you know? So George Zimmerman is an incel. That's what he is.
The last time they had interviewed his brother, he wanted people to feel sorry for him, talking about he depressed, he's in debt, and all of that. You know, now he want to sue Trayvon Martin's parents because they doing pretty well financially. And he resents the fact, you know. And he just didn't, you know, play the game. So he want a woman and he homeless.
Yeah.
Something with his dog. He can't even live with his parents. Shoot, them women better think you got a homeless dude, killed a child, he got a long record too of domestic violence. See, that fool, he'll pull a gun on you.
See, that's why he's perfect for war.
Yeah.
Go over there and pull a gun since you like doing that.
Yeah, fulfill your fantasies. Go out there. Be all you can be.
Yeah, right. All the patriot. You're right. Demetrius. Yeah, send all the patriotics, you know, the ones that had a problem with taking a knee. Gather all them fools together. Let them go over there and die for Trump.
Yeah. And because they foolish, some people are such diehards, they really believe their own hype, you know. Until you get in a situation like Richard Spencer to be that one talking about, oh no, we can't go do this. Where's these black guys at? You know, he'd be hollering for the black guys to protect his ass.
Yeah, remember, your high IQ might do you a lot of good over there in Iran. I get over there.
I know Terrin Rain was dragging Richard Spencer, said he couldn't even afford he was at a bar. I guess he had got a cocktail at a bar for himself. And when they ran the card through, it went decline.
Yeah, I remember that. And I think the drink was only like $4.
You got $4 on your card.
He didn't even have 4.
You don't have that protection. You don't have that protection plan on your when you, what's that, overdraft?
Yeah,
you don't got that either. He probably wore the overdraft out, Lisa. Trying to look all cool. Yeah, Diamond and Silk have to go. You know what I don't like about Diamond and Silk? That what how they act, they don't never shut that off. All that loud talking and high siding, and don't get Silk by herself. She wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Silk wouldn't be able to make it without her sister and stuff. And when I showed that video last week, and they were speaking before Congress, and they had swore them in, and they was lying through their teeth. And they kept trying to remind them where you at. You're not on TV tap dancing and buck dancing, and just sit up there and continue to lie. I didn't receive no money. I didn't receive no money. I didn't receive no money. Okay. You lie for Trump. You get locked up for Trump. He's not going to be there for you.
Sure ain't. Look at what he's doing to Roger Stone. That man is going to jail.
It's coming soon, Lisa. It's coming soon. They're going to be sentencing his ass in February.
Yeah, I read Michael Avenatti is in the same cell that what's that guy El Chapo used to be in. I said, damn, they got you in hardcore prison.
Man, I don't know what sub that was. It was some brother on my channel. I guess he was getting ready to go to work. He said, True Roy, you put a smile on my face. He said, I can't stand that arrogant fool. He out there still trying to live the high life. He got to have his Mercedes, and he got busted.
Well, they sure didn't let him out of jail this time, but he can't get out.
No, he can't get out. The whole time he in trial, they said he gonna have to stay in jail.
He's already a broken man. You saw the way he was looking down
in that elevator.
He's broken already.
He think he's slick. He think he one of those kind of people that think he's the smartest person in the room, and everybody else is just core dumb. That's the type of dude he is, because he got on my nerves when Biden threw his hat in the arena. Oh yeah, I endorse him. That's a good pick. Blah blah blah. Dude, please, you know how he walk up to the podium like he got it all together, and all that kind of stuff like that. And I could see in his eyes, the last time they had interviewed him, that he knew he gonna get locked up. I seen it in Roger Stone's body language. He knew it. He knew it. And what I'm surprised by is Roger Stone is quiet as a church mouse now. Usually he pulls some type of antic. Like did he pull? I guess that was his last antic that he pulled when he played like his stomach was upset, and then he paid somebody to have a fake.
Something that's physically wrong with these dudes. These overpriced, overhyped dudes. Roger Stone got stomach problem. Harvey Weinstein needs a walker. He walking in there like a 90-year-old woman every day.
You should see the memes that they got out now with him in that walker. And he trying to look so pitiful.
Yes, he is.
And the media won't say nothing.
Of course not. But Bill Cosby, remember, he was faking his blindness. According to them, he's probably faking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But somebody really faking in your face, you don't have nothing to say about
Yeah,
that.
and he been busted. He been busted wide open. Somebody, one of them paparazzi caught him without his little walker on. He just trying to look so pitiful.
Ain't he though?
And what he don't know, he's a, you would think somebody that was around a bunch of actors and actresses that he would be able to pull. He can't pull nothing off.
No, he's terrible.
He is, yeah.
I mean, and it don't do you any good to be pushing around a walker and then you already got caught strolling through Target with your family. How dumb. How dumb. The man is stupid.
Oh Lord, this all of a sudden, oh Lord, I'm looking at a picture now. They showing him walking without the walker. Oh my Lord, look at this.
But they showing him up.
No, he's walking like he can barely make it. Then they showing him go up some stairs. Okay, they said Hollywood Reporter said, "Oh, he's trying to gain some sympathy."
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get him. Let me see the memes on this. I like looking at stuff like this. Oh, there it is again. Without his walker, straight as an arrow, straight up.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with Harvey. He knows potentially he can go to jail, so he's just performing now.
Yeah, they said.
That's all.
Is that Loretta? Is Loretta around?
No, she's not in here.
Oh, she hanging around the window. Where's Loretta Man at?
The last time I went down, she was in her little cat tree. So
she ain't thinking about him. Loretta got a man.
Yeah, she got a male cat coming around for her,
sniffing around the house.
All right, y'all, we gonna go ahead and conclude this live stream. Thank you for all coming out. Always good to see everybody. And if you did not get a chance to listen to my podcast, go over there and listen, because I pissed these people off beyond belief for them to show up the way they did in my community tab. So I must have said something right.
Oh, okay. So they go into your community tab. Okay.
Yeah. I had to get rid of quite a few comments because they were pretty butt sore, y'all.
Yeah, that like I was telling you, that dude, he put 12 comments on my channel, the transgender guy. And I told you, he said, why y'all making a big deal over silicone and plastic? What's the big deal?
Well, because of what it represents.
He knew exactly what's going on.
It's not just silicone and plastic. It goes way beyond that, way deeper than that.
Oh, yeah.
Not a deep thinker at all, is he?
Oh, Loretta ain't giving up nothing.
He's not giving up anything.
Shoot, some cat get a hold of her, she gonna gouge his eyes out. No, that shit ain't gonna happen. I done seen female cats just fixed to do that. They'll come up on her with that. He gonna get hurt.
All right, y'all. Please take care, and shalom, family.
Okay.
All right, True Royal.
Let's see here. You still live?
Yeah, I'm ending right now.